This video will explore the paradox of Barbara Davis, who wrote the book Precious Angels, which definitely showed Darlie's guilt. She made a unexpected exit from non-support after appearing on the Lisa Gibbons show. And then the last 8 minutes of this video is going to be an excerpt from a message that was directly from Barb Davis to our friend Christine Rose, and her reasons for why she suddenly changed her mind, and you explore the differences.
She's guilty. Oh, yeah, she's guilty. Yeah, I know.
On Wednesday, June 5th, one of the Routier's neighbors stepped out to get the mail. She heard Darlie yelling at Devin and Damon she'd had enough of their bullshit and they were going to be in major fucking trouble when their father got home. That same day, when Darren arrived home, he picked up the portable phone to call the VCR repair shop where he dropped a unit off earlier that day. Sam Greer answered just as the recorded message started playing and the conversation continued to record. As Darren explained what needed to be fixed, Mr. Greer's recorder taped Darlie in the background yelling at the kids and Darren. Mr. Greer flinched with every fuck this and fuck that. During one of Patterson's visits at the hospital to check on Darlie, he mentioned that the dog had been barking like crazy and would not shut up. He told her a neighbor had to help calm him down just to pick him up and take him out of there. Darlie looked at the detective and responded, "Oh, he always goes off like that when someone he doesn't know walks in the door." Patterson was immediately alert. "Did you hear him bark the night of the attack?" Darlie paused, then calmly replied, "Come to think of it, no, he didn't." After the funeral, Darren and Darlie and the rest of the family gathered at Darlie Key's house. Darlie proceeded to announce that she and Darren had already made future plans. Darren was going to take Darlie to Europe to have the light scar on her throat removed. While they were there, she was going to conceive the little girl she had always wanted. One of the relatives present said, "I was shocked. It was like, this is what we want to happen. So it will. I lost 2 children, but I'll be replacing them soon." Darlie asked Mercedes Adams to go with her to see what damage the police had done to the house. Mercedes anticipated that Darlie would be overwrought upon revisiting the scene of her children's murders, but as the 2 women entered the living room, Darlie shocked Mercedes by placing her hands on her hips and angrily declaring, "Look at this fucking mess. It'll cost a fortune to fix this shit." I put my hands on Darlie's shoulders and said, "Darlie, look me in the eye and tell me you didn't kill the boys." She looked me in the eye and said, "I'm gonna get new carpet, new drapes, and fix this room all up." I couldn't believe it. At a pretrial hearing, the prosecutor asked about rumored deals with Paramount Entertainment concerning movie or book rights to the Routier story. Darren steadfastly denied the rumors. It later came out in the press that Darlie, Mama Darlie, and Darren had signed a contract with an agent to place Darlie's life story.
Darlie took a private polygraph test on October 4th, 1996. Mama Darlie waited at the jail to visit with her daughter as soon as the 6-hour test was over. When the deputy escorted Darlie back to her cell, mother and daughter embraced, and Darlie began to sob. Curiously, Mama Darlie would vehemently deny she ever knew about the polygraph test. Instead, time after time before the case went to trial, she protested that the police were refusing to give Darlie a polygraph test. I conducted a reenactment of the crime to test the defense team's contention that Darlie couldn't possibly have had time to murder her children and slit her throat. Regarding the 30-40-second sprint down the alley to ditch the sock, I made it in 50 seconds, and I'm a good 20 years older than Darlie. Darlie supporters always use Barb Davis as an innocence selling point. They fail to mention that Barb has never recanted any of the detail of her book, only that she changed her mind because of some pictures she claims she never saw, but wrote about the content of those pictures and even put one in her book. Many speculate as to why Barb Davis changed her mind. I think it's because they threatened to sue her. At any rate, she has never recanted the details in her book. Danelle and Sully and Spooky are silly for using her as an innocent selling point. Fucking retards.
You found her. I've been right here. For the last 21 years since I wrote the book, Precious Angels, the book had just been printed, and in bookstores, Barnes & Nobles had a huge book signing and border signings when I was informed by a deep throat source in the Dallas District Attorney's Office that wanted to talk to me. My answer was, and I don't need to talk to you, that I'd lived there for 5 weeks at the trial. The source asked to meet him at the office because the source required anonymity and protection from anything they or any evidence which was shown to me. I assured my source that I'd never identify them. I would never reveal my source to anyone, including my husband, and I will take that source to the grave. Literally. When I saw suppressed evidence and manipulated testimony in the manipulation of the 911 tape, I was devastated. Publicly renounced my own book and sent every royalty check that I could to Darlie's Defense Fund. After my faith in the justice system was shaken to the very core, to me, this is what my beliefs and character my parents taught me was not extraordinary, but simply the right thing to do. So I had to put my big girl panties on and do simply what I've been taught all my life was the right thing to do. It was one of the most difficult and uncomfortable positions I've ever found myself in. I thought the money was now tainted. The slings and arrows thrown my way are unbelievable. My phone is typing gibberish, so I will sign off soon because my battery is almost dead. I've been told all my life my best quality is also my worst quality because I am a perfectionist. You call if you want to talk. I rarely text, and so I'm rarely texted by anyone. You call me if you like. Please protect my privacy because I rarely give it out. My husband broke his hip and has had recent surgery, and I've been trying to handle everything by myself. This is private, and I have a kidney infection. I rarely speak publicly on this issue. I won't really be able to talk until next week. This is a protected and private number, and I was too ill to even know 2020 aired. My daughter put it in on record, or I wouldn't have even known it aired. I watched a little bit last night. My cell phone and Facebook has been blowing up ever since this aired. I stand by my accurate portrayal of the trial, but my total belief that you are innocent until proven guilty in America anymore is no longer true. Sorry if this seems disjointed, but this instrument didn't exist back in the day. I'm exhausted and turning my phone off, but I respected your tendency enough to reply. And I need to heal a few days. And I've assured Darlie and her mother that I will never grant an interview without their permission. Nope. I find it very sad that in today's world, that speaking and admitted you were duped seems extraordinary. I didn't do anything extraordinary, simply did what the right thing to do was. It amazes me in today's society that admitting that you were lied to and duped by a judicial system makes people think of ways to wonder, what are you out for? I'm out for one thing, the truth. That's it. And I covered the trial because I have been manipulated to feel the truth and justice still means something in America. It's sad to know that our judicial system is unfair. It was built to mean truth and justice, but that's no longer true. It's based on, let's make a deal, and promotions and climbing the ladder. I worked for the Tarrant County Justice Center for a decade, so I've known how the game is played, but never thought injustice was rampant. My book sold out 20 years ago, and I've been told now that people are offering up to $300 for a 20-year-old used copy of a book that's inactive. I stand by my portrayal of the trial and am amazed over the lynch mob mentality, me included, because people like to sleep peacefully at night. If there is a boogeyman out there, if true evil exists, we are all at risk with monsters and evil stopping people randomly for whatever reason selecting you. No one would ever sleep at night. I believe and know the Rowlett murders shook people to the core, and her rush to judgment went into warp speed. Everyone was happy. Everyone was glad there was no longer a monster running out around, but simply a lady snapped and murdered her children. Whoever did this is dead or in prison, and there is an innocent woman on death row who is simply not guilty. I'd like to know one thing. Why, after being ordered by a federal judge to re-examine Exhibit 59J, has the district attorney fought for 9 years this order? What are they scared of? Why did the state go to Darlie Lynn Routier on death row and offered to take her off death row in exchange for a plea deal, which was answered by Darlie Lynn Routier with a steadfast no deal? I'd rather die than say I murdered my children. Why did the state of Texas offer that deal? And why is the state of Texas steadfastly fighting a judicial order to run Exhibit 59J? I desire no publicity, but made and promised Darby's family that I would tenaciously defend her and set the record straight. I've kept that promise, and only when they ask me, do I speak on Darlie's behalf, will I ever speak on this subject. My phone is messed up, and answering all the renewed interest in the Darlie's case, I quietly worked behind the scenes. I made a promise to renounce my book to myself, put my shoulders back, and got ready for the criticism hurled my way. For an author to do that, apparently, is unheard of. It baffles me. I will never grant an interview without Darlie Keyes and Darlie Lynn Routier's permission. Mama Darlie has one mission, Brett, and I have one mission, and that's to set the record straight. I've heard my parents saying all my life, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, ain't gonna happen. And the other is, don't piss up my leg and tell me it's raining. My phone is act up, and I'm frankly exhausted.
Please,
But I've been looking forward to her being set free. Good night.
Hit that like button and subscribe to Bryan's channel. It makes him feel all warm and fuzzy. And remember, Darlie is guilty as fuck.
Please, what